We reveal the 7-inch record that turned our fan club into a fan cult. We show you how, with a love of music, a little bit of electricity, and some money, you can get us to invade your town. We tell you our New Year's resolutions, and we explain why this one plays such an oddly shaped kick drum. It's the second episode of Bombs Away. 2024 is here, which means it's time to reveal the new X-Bombers fan club pack for the year. Now in 2023, we sold out pretty fast of the 30 copies we had available of the 7-inch shirt and tote, and it was only available through that. It had an awesome 7-inch of the Stones Play With Fire on it, and it sold out way faster than we planned. So all year long, people have been asking us. People have even made jokes that they've been hitting refresh on the fan club page, but we're pumped to be able to show you now exactly what's in the 2024 fan club pack. Starting with this awesome t-shirt over here. It's vintage cream. It's a design that Kitty did herself and hand screened. It's one of my favorite X-Bombers designs to date. Comes with a matching tote bag, a button, as well as a 7-inch record that's been hand screened, and there's only 40 available. Now, every year we try to do one that is the most significant non-album track we did this year, and nothing is more significant than the song that we did that was played on the #1 pro wrestling podcast in the world. That's right, it's the song Get the Experience, as heard on Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru. Now, this song is awesome, and we're super pumped to be able to offer it to you because it's, again, I said, the most significant thing that we've kind of done this year that wasn't on an album. And we came to it because when we're up late at night driving, in order to be safe, we want to get home alive, which is always a good thing, right? And so we listen to Jim Cornette's podcast, and because his apoplectic and intellectual ramblings are one of our favorite things to engage with, because we really do love pro wrestling, because it's really this balance of good versus evil, and when it's good, it just transports you. And pro wrestling rules. So we decided, hey, we're listening one night, it's about 3 a.m., we're in some Illinois cornfield, it's a whole lot of nothing where there's no more streetlights, and they're talking about how they want a new theme song for the show. And I'm like, that's cool, we're a band, I think we can do this. So we decided we were going to do a serious song that was an actual song that you could rock out to. It could be an intro song if somebody was coming out, because as Jim Cornette says, funny don't draw money. So I decided, let's put together this WCW 90s theme meets 70s glam and glitter rock. So we get home and I wake up the next day and we figure out we only have about 48 hours to make this happen because we had a lot of shows booked that month. And so I start writing, and I'm a notoriously slow writer. So Kitty is like, oh, this isn't gonna happen. So I start writing something, and once I've got the bass hook and I've got the opening line, I know it's gonna happen. So the opening line is like the midnight and the rock and roll. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere. So I play it for her. She's like, all right, where are we going? I can see on her face when I say the first line, she's 80% there. Then we hit the chorus, and all of a sudden, she's 100% there. We stop what we're doing, we run in the room, we start rehearsing, and we record the song that night. And it went so well, it just all came together, those are special moments as musicians. So we woke up the next morning, we had to mix it. Again, it's tape to tape because we record on open reel and mix to it. And to get that kind of fun thing, to get that sound that's on the chorus, that's so the Sweet meets Queen, we had to use 2 separate tape echoes ran together. That's why it sounds gigantic like that. So we get it, we mix it, we get it digitized, and we mail it off, and we don't hear anything. But then when we're listening, when the show comes out on the drive-thru, oh my God, there's our song live playing right there, and our hearts beating because they are not shy when they do not like a song on the show. And so a lot of the other songs are kind of fun, but we're gonna do a rock song that's on this one that would be cool playing live. And yeah, at the end of it, Cornette popped super huge for it. So did the producer Brian Last. We exhaled. You want to hit that, don't you? Exactly. And so it was awesome. They're like, this is the best thing that we've got kind of going toward the theme. Let's put this in the archive to make sure we can come back to it. 2 or 3 weeks later, Cornette brings up the idea that he's like, I'm thinking about that X-Bombers song. And then a couple weeks later, Brian Last, the producer, in his big baritone voice sings a bar of the chorus. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And so from that, we heard from so many people, tons of people from around the world wrote us. I made sure we wrote back everybody because we appreciate it so much. And the coolest thing is that we met people who heard us on the show and who came to our shows. They drove wherever it was going to be. And every time that's like such a cool experience because they're coming from the cult of Cornette, which is why this year we're calling it the fan cult instead of the fan club, which, you know, is fitting. So we're super pleased to be able to offer it this year. It's only $39 and it comes with the 7-inch, the t-shirt, the tote, and the button, and that's shipped anywhere in the US. So that's awesome because shipping is like $10. So the whole thing, $39. If you're international, get a hold of us. We'll get it sorted and send you a second invoice. We're the ones who are checking these things and shipping them, and the money all goes to us, which is super rad. It's available on thexbombers.com, either on the fan club page or the store page. Again, only $39 and only 40 of them are available, unless it's 39 if Jim Cornette wants one. Or 38 if Brian Last wants one as well. We need a button for Brian Last. But we'll say 40 are available. They sold out pretty fast. We'll wait here while you go buy one. Now that you're back from buying your 2024 X-Bombers Fan Club pack, you're probably wondering where we're playing this year. Well, currently we're booking our 2024, and we're here to tell you that we're going to keep working the territory that we're at. We currently live in Charleston, Illinois, so anywhere within about 4 or 5 hours of Charleston, we'll end up playing. So Illinois, we've got you. Wisconsin, yeah. Kentucky, yeah. Ohio, sure. Missouri, maybe a little bit. So we're going to keep going back to those places. But also, we were originally a touring band, and so we would play clubs all over the United States. We go all the way out to Denver, up to Minnesota, over to Virginia, down to Florida, and absolutely everything that's in between them. So all you got to do if you want to see us in one of these places is fill our prerequisites, meaning that the person loves music who owns the place, they have electricity, and they're willing to pay us money to play music because they love it and they want us to use said electricity to make that music. Also, maybe we had a conversation on one of those late nights where you want us to play something that you've got coming up. Maybe it's a big event for your business. Maybe it's a wedding, which, by the way, you'd be our 4th wedding. We've played 3 others, believe it or not. An event of any type, any sort of happening, get a hold of us, thexbombers@gmail.com. If you're interested or you know some place that we should be looking at to book, we always respond to it. Again, thexbombers@gmail.com. We'll look into it. We're just looking for stubborn people who love music as much as we do, who want others to love music too. Continuing our trend about all things 2024, the X-Bombers have some New Year's resolutions. Now, the top of that list is to do stuff. Just do stuff. Make music. Do all the art around music, too. We want to live in that space. There's one thing that makes you a musician. You made music that day. And we want to be musicians every day and artists every day, which leads us to the next one. Do another music video. But there's a caveat on this. To spend way less money on the music video because we want to do this over the course of a lifetime and have it be sustainable at the end of the day. So business deal ended up being $2,500, and I keep trying to fix bad with worse is $1,500. So we can't go into debt over this anymore. But we do want to go to some new places, and so we want to try booking a festival or a fest and booking our way out there. It's something we haven't done before. Maybe we'll meet some more of our people. We definitely want to go back to the places that like having us and making music there and leaving our hearts on that stage, because we see people that we've seen before, we meet new people, we build something, and my goodness, we appreciate it so much. We want to spend some more time figuring out the sounds of the bass, drums, and vocals so they match the things that are in my head when I'm staying up at night thinking about them. They're magnificent, and we've been experimenting with that lately, and some cool things are coming out of it. Speaking of that, definitely getting our 4th record on tape this year. Ivy is an awesome record. We've been playing it live at shows, and the songs, they're our favorite things that we've written to date. I think they're kind of magic. The only thing holding us up is equipment and funding over said equipment, which is kind of the story of my life. One of the things we want to do too is to keep making episode of Bombs Away. We want to make a whole year of it for sure. That's what we're willing to commit to. You keep watching it, it'll keep motivating us. And the last thing we want to do is we decided we want to juice more. It's a little loud. Very healthy though. People ask us a lot of great questions at shows and then online afterwards about what we're up to and why we do certain things, and we decided to start answering them. So about a week ago, we asked people to send in questions via message or at thexbombers@gmail.com, and we're going to answer one now. This one comes from Craig from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Craig asks, what is the oldest piece of equipment that you used during your set? Well, that's an awesome question because we love vintage equipment. It sounds great, it looks cool, and we use a lot of it. Kitty uses a sizzle ride from the 1960s and a cool Gretsch snare drum. I use an early 70s custom 215 cab, and of course there's my beloved Hagstrom 8-string bass. But the oldest piece of equipment that we actually use during a set is a late 50s Trixen Telstar kick drum. It's this cool one right here. It's made in Germany in the late 50s when the satellites were like the new thing, so it was very space age, and they used a really weird shape. It's conical in nature, meaning this head is smaller than this head, and it creates a really interesting sensation. Instead of being a really deep kick drum that we typically associate with things, it has more of a woof to it, meaning the frequency is a little bit higher. And so for us, that's a really good thing. For like jazzy, psych sort of things where it's not such a regimented kick, it sounds awesome. Secondarily, it sounds so good unmiked in a small room. It just fills it up in this really cool, interesting way. You can hear it on the X Bombers, which is us, our record New Love Is Easy, or you can see it at any of our shows. And speaking of which, on January 20th, Saturday, we return to our beloved Buzz Bomb Brewing in Springfield, Illinois. This place is one of our favorites and we love it more every time we play it. We'll be downstairs right next to the bar, and it's awesome when we do that. These shows just get fun, so bring a friend and let's heat up a winter night. Music 7 to 10. And on January 27th, Saturday, we are back at Artesia Brewing in Thawville, Illinois. This place is so neat if you're up for a small drive. It's on a farm in the middle of nothing, and then you get there and it's this super warm place and inviting where they grow what they brew, and that includes their own honey. Music 6:30 to 9:30. And if you watch to the end and really want to keep us recording, making videos, and playing shows, show us some love in the universal language and put a few dollars in our tip jar. It will boost our self-esteem and make us do more things.